Welcome to another episode of Mexican in the Kitchen. Here I have 30 grams of hibiscus. This flower is usually used for preparing tea in different ways depending on the place where you live. In Mexico, the most common use is preparing Agua de Jamaica, which is kind of an iced tea with some sugar. First, we need to get an extract from the hibiscus, and this is quite simple because we just have to throw the flower into a pot and we have to add some water. The amount of water is not that important, just make sure it covers most of the flowers. I have this pot on a 3 or 4 out of 6, so medium high fire, and we're going to boil this for at least 10 minutes. I want you to notice how quickly the water changed color, and you will notice it gets darker and darker. This has been boiling for about 10 minutes now, and as you can see, the color is way more intense. Everything looks way darker. This is way more concentrated, and this is exactly what we want to extract from the flower. I'm going to use a strainer and a separate container. I want to get all the extract out of the flower, so I'm going to let it there for a couple minutes and then I'm going to repeat the process. This is how the flower looks now, and I'm going to put it back into the pot, add more water and repeat this. After I have added the water, I'm going to show you how the color is not as strong as the first one was, but it still gives some color. Also, every time we boil this, we reduce some of the acidity from the flower. So again, we let it boil for about 10 minutes and this is the result. You can notice the extract is not as strong, but it still has a lot of flavor. So we are going to put this with our other extract. I have my same container, my same strainer. I repeat the process and I will mix both of these extracts because they're strong enough that they can come into the same container, and this is what we will use later to make our Agua de Jamaica or iced tea, and we will continue the process once again with our flowers. This is the third time we add water to our flowers, and you can immediately tell how the color is not as strong, not as bright as it used to be. You can immediately notice the water is not getting too much of a color. This is perfect, it's perfectly normal. We have gotten a lot of that extract already. And this third time is just to continue reducing the acidity. As you can see, the color is not even close to the first 2 times. A lot of people will throw all this away after the second time we boil it, but we want to use this further. So that's why we boiled it a third time. I'm going to strain it. I'm going to throw away the rest of the water. I'm going to leave it here because I want to drain as much water as possible. And we're going to use this later. Before I continue cooking, I'm going to make my Agua de Jamaica or Hibiscus iced tea. For this, I have a jar with some ice. I'm going to add some of my extract. How much you add, it depends on what you like. This can be a bit bitter, a bit acid. So if you like it a bit mild, just add a bit. If you like it more strong, then keep adding some more of the extract. I'm going to add just plain water, and I'm going to add a couple spoons of sugar. You can also use any kind of sugar substitute as you usually use. You prepare this in the same way you would usually prepare a lemonade. This recipe is quite simple. I just need a couple ingredients, and I'm starting with 1 onion. I'm going to cut it into strips. I'm going to add also 3 garlic cloves. You can of course chop this, but I'm using this garlic crusher because I think it's just way easier. Once this is ready, I'm going to start preparing my pan. My pan is on a 4 out of 6, so medium high fire. It's already hot, and I'm going to add some olive oil. You could also use canola or some other kind of oil, but I think this one goes quite nicely. Once we have the oil, I'm going to add the garlic and the onion, and I'm just going to let them cook there until we get this kind of see-through look. Once our onion is ready and we can see it starting to change color, it's kind of see-through, it has cooked quite nicely, we're going to add our hibiscus flowers. Once we add our flowers, we just want to make sure that we mix everything. We want to keep everything moving for a while. We don't want anything to burn or get stuck to the pan. At this point, we're going to add some seasoning. I'm just going to add salt and pepper, quite basic. You could add some other ingredients, but this is a very simple dish. The flowers have already quite a nice taste by themselves. We don't need much. The flowers don't need much cooking. We can have them there for about 5 to 10 minutes and they will be ready. For our tacos, of course, we need some tortillas. You can use some wheat tortillas if you want. I think the corn tortillas are the nicest ones for this. So If you have seen my videos before, you know how you warm the tortillas here. You place a skillet on the stove, you put your tortilla there. This is going to be on a medium fire. You can even have them on low fire, so you're careful and you don't burn your tortillas. We're going to put them there for a while. We're going to flip it, make sure it's warm from both sides, and then we're going to take it out and it's ready to use. Making our tacos is quite simple. Once our tortillas are warm, we will fill them with our flours. We could also add some cheese, make some quesadillas, but I want to keep this vegan, so I'm going to add some avocado. I'm going to add some chipotle sauce. You could also change the kind of sauce you use. You can check more recipes in my channel. We can also pour some agua de Jamaica or hibiscus water, and our dinner is ready. This is how I make these hibiscus tacos. They're quite nice. They're a very simple dish. It's quite nice because this hibiscus or Jamaica water is something you have everywhere in Mexico. Every time you go to some tacos, to some of these small places where you can eat, they always have hibiscus or Jamaica, horchata, lime, and those are the flavors that you always have with some traditional homemade food. And that's also something that you don't see very often here. Here, at least in Finland, people either have water or soda, but you don't have this kind of fresh water made with fruits or this kind of hibiscus. So it's a very nice alternative. It's quite fresh. Then you can also use the hibiscus to make something else, especially this, because I don't think in Mexican food, from the traditional dishes, there's a lot that are completely vegan, and this is a great alternative. This is very nice. When you boil the hibiscus for 2 or 3 times, then you remove the acidity. That's great. And I don't know, but these tacos look quite good. You can make different kind of sauces, and then the flavor of course changes. You can try different things with some salsa verde, chipotle, some habanero sauce, and it's a great alternative. You can add some cheese if you would like something extra. You can add other things. You can also add a bit of chicken if you don't want it to be completely vegan. But this is a dish that you can play with. This is a base, and you can of course build from this. I hope you liked the video. Press like, subscribe, activate the bell, all of those kind of things, and see you in the next one.